In Playing for Keeps, a former sports star who's fallen on hard times starts coaching his son's soccer team as a way to get his life together.
Who's the new soccer coach?
Stacy's ex, a soccer player.
Dreyer with a shot. Goal!
You were a great player. So what are you doing with your time now, post-soccer?
And now for CSA Sports on a last-second penalty kick.
This is your credit card company. If George Dreyer is no longer at this number, press 1. If George Dreyer is deceased, press 2.
I wasn't expecting much from Playing for Keeps, I guess mainly because the trailer made it look kind of just like a cliche fluff movie, nothing special, a couple of, attractive actors thrown in, ha ha, he, and nothing more than that. But it turns out that it's actually a very well done fluff movie. And I feel like that is a weird thing to say because even though I can acknowledge that the concept is a very fluff movie, a cliche movie, a predictable movie, whatever you want to call it, it's done well enough in the writing, the directing, and the acting that I actually fully enjoyed it. So let's delve a little deeper into Playing for Keeps, which is not something I would think you can do, but as it turns out, like I said, even though the concept of it is very fluff, and you know what I mean by that, kind of just nothing special, a movie you may have seen many times before, and also cliche and predictable to a point. The writing itself, not the plot and the concept, but the writing, maybe the dialogue and the jokes, are, I thought, not only funny, but also pretty good. And the thing is, the writing was good enough that I kept questioning myself, like, am I actually kind of getting invested in such a simple kind of throwaway story? How is this happening? And I guess that's what it is. It's almost as if the concept existed, which I wouldn't be surprised, before, the writer was thrown on, the director was thrown on, and they took this simple concept and did the best they could with it, and actually did pretty good. Now, don't get me wrong, like I said, it is a bit predictable, and obviously, you can pretty much guess where the story's going at all times, but like I said, it almost feels like the writer and everybody involved like had no say in the big picture of the movie, and just kind of had their way at the specifics, like the dialogue, the jokes, stuff like that. Now, is that the case? I have no idea. I'm just saying that's how it felt. But maybe the writing is altogether kind of the lame, I guess, part of this movie, and the directing is actually what really pulled it together. It looked like a fluff movie at every turn, but it felt much better than that. So I don't know if it's kind of unfortunate that it is, the overall concept is what it is, or if it's a good thing that they were able to do so well with it. But either way, I gotta say, I thought the movie was put together pretty well for what it's worth. I thought it was paced very well. I enjoyed the whole thing from start to finish. At no point was I wondering what time it was or anything like that. And the only problem I would say is that maybe it's not so much the pacing of the movie as the pacing of relationships, maybe. I thought Jessica Biel's character was kind of fast-paced, I guess, and maybe her arc could have started a little earlier. It feels like it started a little later than everybody else, and for that reason, kind of felt, felt like the least believable part of the movie, ironically, because there's a lot of stuff that's unbelievable, but it's done in a way that makes it work. So I don't know if that's in the writing or the directing or what, but I would say that's really my only gripe for what it's worth. Once again, please bear with me here. It's not an incredible cinematic achievement, but for what it's worth, I would say everything was very well done, except for maybe that. And acting-wise, I think this is another thing that was great about the movie. I thought everybody really, really was very good. Gerard Butler really actually had some kind of heartbreaking moments as this dad who is... he's trying to be there for his family, but he wants to have a career, and he's kind of being torn in two ways, and I thought he actually did a great job with it, because this is kind of a role that I think you could leave as it is or add a little more depth to it, and I felt for him both ways. I was like, he should go for the job, yeah, but his family, but the job. So I was going back and forth. It wasn't completely clear, what this character should do. I'm not always the biggest fan of Jessica Biel, just, for one reason or another. I guess sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't, but I thought she was very good in this. And I have to give credit to Noah Lomax, the young boy in this movie, because I thought he did a very good job for what it's worth. I usually can be very irritated by kids around his age in movies, but I thought he did a good job. And I have to say, I think everybody did a good job, like I said. I'm not going to get into specifics because otherwise there's too many people, but the last person I will mention is Dennis Quaid, who is brilliant. He is brilliant as this character who touches you way too much, walks with you and he can't just walk next to you, he's got to be facing you with his hand on your shoulder. He was perfect. He was hilarious. I just wish that he was used more. In the first half of the movie, he was in it a lot, but in the second half, he definitely did not have as much screen time as I think he deserved, considering how great he was. And he also had a little plot point that involved an envelope that I think kind of dropped off, that I think should have maybe come up again a little bit. Maybe that would have been predictable. I don't know. But I'll just leave that as it is, not giving anything away, of course. Not that there's much to give away. Like I said, it's kind of a predictable movie, and I guess you could call it cliche to a point, but I feel like cliche sounds really negative, and it's not exactly what I mean. And overall, once again, a movie that shouldn't be as good as it is, that was done well enough to be something I actually really enjoyed, be it for just the, overall way it was put together, or the fact that it was actually pretty damn funny, or the acting. I don't know. There were a lot of good aspects to a relatively simple movie, but let me know in the comments what you thought of Playing for Keeps. Let me know if you agree or disagree that it actually may have been better than it should have been, considering what it is and what the concept is, or if you think it was just as lame as the concept suggests, and as, been there, done that. Not lame so much as been there, done that. Let me know what you thought of the acting. Let me know who was your favorite in the movie, because there's a lot of people. I thought everybody was great, but I think Dennis Quaid stole the show. Any scenes he was in, he was the scene stealer. Let me know anything that you want about Playing for Keeps, and that's pretty much it.
I'm either too early or I'm too late. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be too late again.
That's a couple that can really talk.
I don't think he's the groom.